Hi everybody, it's Gemma. Welcome back to Pampered Wolf and welcome to a little sneaky upload. This is going to become a running thing during the lockdown when I feel like I just need a little bit of extra wolf pack time. I'm just going to jump on and do a full face of makeup using all the products that I already have, maybe products that you've seen me use already, maybe products that I've used on Instagram, maybe even new products that I have got, and I'm just trialing out for everybody just to see what I think about them for a future faves and fails video. So if you like that sort of format, please make sure you have liked, you have subscribed, and you've clicked on that notification bell so you don't miss any of these sneaky uploads, because they will be in addition to my usual 3 uploads a week. Yes, you heard me correctly. I have now bumped up my uploads from 2 videos a week to 3 videos a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So this will be sort of in between as a little extra. So if you don't want to miss any of these videos, please make sure you have hit that notification bell and you're all set up. Okay, so like I said, in these videos we are going to be trialing out things that I already have that I don't get masses amount of use over because I'm constantly testing products out for my channel. So this gives me the opportunity to trial out things that I really liked, maybe try things again that I didn't get on with, or try new things that I've never shown you before. So we're going to get straight on with it. I have already got all my skincare on my face and I've given that plenty of time to sink in, and I am going to be putting a product on my face that you have not seen me use before. I have used this possibly on Instagram, I can't remember, but this is the Purito Snail Clearing BB Cream. Now this really freaks my mum out. The whole sort of snail clearing wording really just makes her go, ooh. But this is what it says on here is the ultimate luminous skin enhancer. It contains niacinamide. It also contains an SPF of 38, but as you know, I don't really pay any attention to that because it's not going to give you an SPF of 38. It contains snail extract in here, which is really going to provide the skin with rich moisture throughout the day for improved skin health. So I don't really use my foundations for anything to do with skincare. I make sure that I've got all my skincare on my face before I apply my foundations, but if the foundation can do a little bit of extra good and especially not do any harm to my skin, then that's a bonus. So as you can see, this is quite a thick consistency. It does remind me of the IT Cosmetics CC cream. This is in the shade number 21, which is light beige. It's very pinky in tone, far too cool toned for me, but we're going to roll with it. There are hardly any shades in this whatsoever. Okay, so as you can see, this is not going to be the correct shade for me, but again, you know, you don't get very many options with this. The coverage though is really good, and I've got a little bit of a blemish there, which I did not leave alone. I was ignoring my own advice to everybody. I just couldn't help myself. You know, when you sort of feel something under the surface of the skin and you just can't help yourself but really go at it, even though it's not ready and, you know, it's not time, and really should have just applied a little bit of salicylic acid to that and left it alone. But I didn't, because I was bored and I thought for a split second that I knew better, which I don't. So that has even covered that up quite nicely. This is a lovely, lovely coverage. I actually bought this from Yes Style. The shade range will put quite a few people off because, like I've said numerous times already, if you haven't got the hint, this doesn't come in very many shades. I really, really like it. This is the right amount of luminosity on the skin. Really, really beautiful. Evens everything out, and now it's settling on the skin, it doesn't look too bad a match for me. Not at all. So when I looked at it on the hand, it's actually quite scary because it's so not my shade, but then it sort of blends in quite nicely. Very quick to apply, really, really easy. Feels lightweight on the skin, but also quite nourishing without that heavy feel. And it's not bad for longevity throughout the day. If you want me to do a full wear test on this, if you actually want me to do a full review, do let me know in the comments section. So because this is a beauty balm and quite hydrating, I am going to put this underneath my eyes, which is something that I very, very rarely do because I don't like a lot of product underneath my eyes. Because this one's quite nourishing and definitely not drying in any way, I'm going to risk it and see how it goes. So I've used all of the product that was on the back of my hand, which was a healthy lot of foundation, but absolutely loving the way that it looks on my skin. I'm gonna have to bronze this up a little bit because it is slightly too pink, which if you put the wrong undertone of foundation on your skin, it can make you look a little grey. And that's what this has done to me. It's just made me look slightly grey, but we'll bronze that up a little bit later on. So whilst I'm waiting for that to settle in a little bit and dry down a little bit, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to move on to my brows. You all know the product I'm going to use for my brows. It's slightly boring, the fact that I won't move on from this product because it is so good. This is the NYX Professional Makeup Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Ash Brown. I just feel like the shade Ash Brown really does suit my complexion as well as my hair colour. I get asked all the time what my natural hair colour is. It's quite dark brown to the back and very, very white grey at the front with a little bit of salt and pepper in between. So it's a little bit difficult to tell you exactly what shade my hair is. When I was younger, my hair colour was the same as my daughter Beatrice's hair colour. Started off very, very blonde and then went into like a brown colour. Very shiny, very glossy, very, very healthy hair. It was only when I started dyeing it when I was in my late teens that I ruined it completely. And now my hairdresser, Laura, who we've all established is my cousin as well, I love her, she's absolutely amazing, has managed to get my hair back into tip-top condition. So super, super grateful, and now we'll never ever see anybody else as my hairdresser. I also get asked all the time what colours she puts on my hair. I really need to ask her because I just hand my head over to her every 4 or 5 weeks. Obviously not at the moment because, you know, we can't go out, but I usually just hand my head over to her and she just does her thing. We have a hug, I pay her and I go. And I never ask, but I really ought to ask for everybody. If you're interested, I will ask what she uses. So I'm just going to use this spoolie and just go through my brows. Because I'm going to do quite a natural makeup today, I'm not going to go to town with lots of eyeshadows and eyeliners and things like that, but I will do that in future videos. If you want me to use a specific product, do let me know as well in the comments section and I will try and get that in. But the purpose of these videos is so that, you know, I'm not having to buy lots of things. I'm just going to be using the products that I already have. So if you know I already own something and you want me to use it in one of these videos, then do let me know. Also, if you've got any ideas for future reviews, if you want me to buy a specific product to try, also do let me know because I'm always looking for ideas and the Wolfpack are amazing at letting me know what they want to see. I shall write it in my big book. So I'm just going to brush through my brows. I actually did a brow lamination on myself the other day and I don't have to put too much product in my brows anymore to make them look the way I want them to look, but I'm just going to put a little bit of brow setter through my brows just to hold those in place. It's not really needed, but if you haven't had brow lamination, then you might want to do this if you want a bit more of a fluffier look, and I really rate this product. It looks like PVA glue, and it does hold the brows like PVA glue, but it's really, really easy and water soluble, so it's very easy to take off at the end of the day. You don't have to scrub or anything like that. and it definitely does hold your brows in place. Okay, so that is done. I'm just going to pad underneath my eyes. There is no creasing whatsoever, but it is still slightly tacky to the touch. But I'm going to go ahead and do my concealer. Now, the concealer that I'm using today was in one of my faves and fails videos. I can't remember which one. You'll have to look back and tell me in the comments section. But this is by Jouer, and it is the Essential High Coverage Concealer Pen. In my faves and fails video, I said that usually I don't use this if I'm doing a full face of makeup. That has now changed. I use this all the time. It's an absolutely fantastic concealer. Usually I wouldn't like a creamy concealer because my eyes do have a lot of fine lines and wrinkles underneath. They are invisible sometimes on camera, but they definitely are there. And I also have a very, very expressive face, so I'm constantly moving my face, which moves my under eyes, which creates creasing of concealers all the time. And sometimes, no matter what you do, if you're using the wrong concealer, you're going to get creasing all the time throughout the day. This one is an excellent concealer. I haven't had much luck with cream concealers in the past because they do crease a lot. This one I absolutely love. It is in the shade Creme. I will link everything in the description box below. It's got a little bit of a clicker on the bottom which you can press, and the product moves up the application stick. I don't like dragging this directly underneath my eyes because I don't like dragging my skin underneath my eyes. So I just pop this on my finger and then pat it underneath my eyes. Just pat, 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 pat to blend that in place. So this is one of those concealers that doesn't need setting in place. If you are one of the many that really struggles with powdering and setting things in place, especially underneath the eye area where it can make the skin look really crepey and really dry and much older and more mature than it actually is, then this one might be for you. I use this completely unset. It will crease slightly if you apply too much, but the really good thing about this product is if it does crease, because you're not powdering it, all you need to do is just dab a finger underneath the eye area and everything is smooth again. So it can be fixed if it's not powdered. And I really like that about it. It just cancels everything out. It's fantastic. It's not matte. It's not drying. It's really quite luxurious. It's got a luminous sheen on the surface of the skin. Really beautiful. You can mattify it down if you powder it in place, but I really like this look. Just really, really beautiful. Love it. Okay, so I'm just going to set this foundation in place slightly using the tiniest bit of powder. Now, the reason I didn't do that earlier is because the foundation was still wet. You really need to give your foundation that time to settle in and dry down on its own before you're applying a different product over the top of it. Otherwise, you'll just end up in a really cakey mess. Your foundation will start to crack because the top of it is sealed with a powder, whereas the underneath is still wet and movable, and it's just messy. The same goes for the concealer underneath your eyes. If you're wanting to powder on top of your concealer, wait till it's dried down. Don't apply a powder over the top of a wet concealer. The concealer may feel dry at first, but the top layer of the concealer might be dry, whereas the underneath of the concealer might still be wet and movable. So always make sure you're leaving plenty of time before you're setting anything in place. The setting powder that I'm going to be using today is one that I got in the Wayne Goss Cult Beauty box, and it is the Laura Mercier Translucent Powder. I am in love with this powder. It really did make that Cult Beauty box an absolute bargain. So I'm just going to dust a tiny bit over here. Okay, so I've just powdered those areas that I feel like I get that excess shine throughout the day, just to mattify it slightly, but not too much. I never ever like to apply a lot of powder because I do like the natural sheen and glow and luminosity of my skin, and I feel like a lot of powders actually take that away and remove it completely, which is definitely not something that I want. Okay, we're just gonna add a little bit of mascara. The mascara that I've been really liking using at the moment is the Maybelline The Falsies Lash Lift Mascara. It's got the little purple top to this. It's a great one. Again, I'll link it in the description box for you. By the way, all my links, generally all my links anyway, are affiliate links, which means that I will earn a small amount of commission if you click on the link and decide to go shopping. Really nice of you if you do that, by the way, but there's never any pressure from this end. You buy your products from wherever you want. So I'm not even going to curl my lashes because I was really naughty and did a lash lift at the same time as I did my brow lamination. Shouldn't have done it. It was really, really naughty of me, but luckily it worked. And it just means that I don't have to curl my lashes for a while. I definitely don't recommend that you do it at home though. It can be quite dangerous. But I'm just lucky that I have both eyes that I can see through. Both eyes are intact and I didn't end up at the eye hospital. Okay, so I've got 2 coats on the top lashes, 1 coat on the bottom lashes. You can put 2 coats on there if you want to. I just like a more natural look. That's the look that I'm going for today. I have got a tiny weeny bit of mascara on my eyelids. Do not touch this if you have made a mistake and got mascara all over the place. Don't worry about it, leave it to dry. As soon as it's dried, get a little cotton bud, Q-tip, or even just a fingertip. Anything that is dry and not overly hot. So if you do have really hot fingers, don't do it with your fingers. But you can use it with a nail and just flick that off. And it will just go straight onto the cotton bud or onto your nail or whatever you decide to use. Now, I did forget to set my eyelids, and it's something that I always have to do because I do have quite oily eyelids. So the foundation or concealer or whatever I've put on my eyelids never really truly sets down because I have such oily eyelids. So I'm just going to take some more of that Laura Mercier powder on a small brush and just brush that on and just set that in place. I should have done this before I applied my mascara, but I really don't like to see those white creases that you get from your foundation or concealer creasing on your eyelids. If you can see there, when I blink slightly, you can see lines on my eyelids, and I don't like that. So let's get rid of that and make sure that that doesn't happen again throughout the day. There we go. Simple as that. Okay, so this needs bronzing up a little bit, and the bronzer that I've chosen to use today is my Fenty bronzer in the shade In the Sun. This is the Sun Stalker bronzer, and it's the palest shade that they do, and I love it because it's cool toned. If you don't want a bronzer that is super orange and very, very warm, then I highly recommend this one. It's a great bronzer. It also sinks into the skin, it looks at one with the skin, and it doesn't look powdery. It looks more like a cream bronzer even though it goes on as powder, which I never understand how that actually works, but it seriously does. Obviously it comes with a price tag. You do get some very nice packaging on this, which is beautiful to have in your handbag. I actually haven't been reaching for this a lot recently because I sorted all the drawers out on my desk. If you haven't seen my filming room tour, it's over on Instagram for everyone to see. But I did go through, as a lot of people are sorting stuff out at the moment, aren't they? And just getting their house in order because, you know, they've got nothing else to do. I have been sorting out all of my products and putting them in little individual drawers and sorting everything out, the things that I want to keep and the things that I need to give away. And this one went in a drawer, and then I don't look in the drawers constantly when I'm applying my makeup, so it was forgotten about, and it's an excellent, excellent bronzer. Now, if you have quite deep skin tone, this is not going to work for you because this is the palest shade that they do. I always find that a lot of brands, the palest bronzer is still really quite dark. This one is not. This is for the palest of the palest. skin tones. Really beautiful, but you can build this up if you want it to look a little bit deeper. I really like it though because it doesn't look patchy. You don't get those patchy patches if you patchy patches. If you are applying this to a slightly damp skin, if you haven't set a foundation in place, really, really easy to blend out. Just beautiful. Just really easy to build up that colour. Don't forget to go into the hairline so you don't have a white line running all the way around your head. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of a flush to the cheeks. This is a product that you have to be really, really careful with because it is super, super pigmented. It's affordable, it's from NYX, it's also cruelty-free. This is the Sweet Cheeks Matte Blush. Really, really like it, but you need very, very little, so literally, and that is it. Just knock off the excess as well. You can always add more, but adding less once it's on is slightly difficult. This is really easy to blend out though. I featured this in my full face of NYX. I will link that up here for you just in case you haven't seen that. Really beautiful purple eye look in that full face of video. So I'm just dabbing this onto the skin instead of swiping it. I feel like if you swipe a brush on your face, you end up with a line, whereas if you are dabbing on the skin, you end up with a much more natural look. Okay, so like I said at the beginning, I am going to leave this quite natural today. If you do want me to do something a little bit more dramatic, maybe with liners or a smoky eye or a really dramatic eye, do let me know in the comments section because, you know, I'm always up for a challenge and a change is as good as a rest. I'm going to take the Superstay Maybelline Ink Crayon in the shade, what is this? Trust Your Gut, which is number 10, one of my faves. And I'm just going to use this to line the lip. I'm not going to put this absolutely everywhere. And once I've done that, I am going to apply one of my favourite lipsticks. I have no idea how this did not end up in my favourite lipstick drawer, which I have over this side of me. It actually ended up in my products that I don't use very often, which means it got lost a little bit, but this is an amazing lipstick. Highly recommend it. This is part of the Colour Rich Shine range from L'Oreal. It's lovely and it actually looks quite matte in the tube, but it goes on super, super shiny. It's not very long lasting. You will have to keep applying this throughout the day, but it's so nourishing and so hydrating on the lip. You actually don't mind reapplying this because it's really pleasant to reapply. This is in the shade 642 and it's just beautiful. It does have a flavour to this, which I don't like. It's like summer berries or strawberry or something like that. But I don't find it offensive. And I absolutely love the product. It's such a pretty nude colour, and because it's so hydrating and nourishing on the lip, it's just pleasant to wear. It doesn't feel sticky in the slightest, but it definitely still feels wet on the lip. So if you don't like that feeling, this will probably not be for you, but I really, really like it, and I really should buy this in some different shades as well. So that is the finished look for today. I really like it, really natural, very lightweight on the skin. Doesn't feel like I've got any makeup on actually, which is really strange, but I really like the look. Just very fresh looking and very youthful. Do let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. Also tell me if you like this sort of extra video series by clicking that like button and also hitting subscribe and that notification bell so you don't miss any of the future ones. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Hope to see you all in the next one. Bye everyone.